Khasuk turit utut khanat manitruluri uvlupak. We invite our ancestors to be here with us today. We cleanse this space with white sage. And we invite the healing and helpful spirits in our bloodline and connected to us otherwise to be with us here today. Let's move into the body bright portion of the retreat. Body bright work is something that we've developed to refer to body-based healing work that helps us to feel lighter, stronger, brighter, and healthier. So today we're going to be using some yin yoga poses. But before we do that, I really need to point you to a fantastic article from Susanna Barkataki. She's a Desi woman who has a lot to say about how we can decolonize yoga. There's some fantastic information on the history of yoga up there, which is a lot more complex and spiritual than a lot of studios portray. So if you're thinking about modern Western yoga, that's not what we're doing. We're not doing flow-based yoga. This is not vinyasa yoga. This is Iyengar yoga. Iyengar is a man who has a fantastic book called Light on Yoga, who goes into the healing and therapeutic benefits of so many different yogic poses. So something I do want to point out here before we get into the body bright work is Susanna Barkataki. She has some steps that we can take to decolonize our yoga practice. And we're actually doing some of them already, which I love. The first is inquiring within. So she says one powerful way we can decolonize yoga and reunite it with its true aim and purpose is to practice Gandhian Svadhyaya. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. It means self-rule and inquiry, and to truly learn the full honest integrity of an authentic yoga practice. She also goes into ways that as a yogi you live, so it's more than just stretch and stress relief and all of that. That's just like the superficial colonized version. The deeper version has a lot more to do with connecting with yourself and being kind to other people. The second thing she says is explore, learn, and cite correct cultural references. So we're doing that now. I'll also be telling a short story while we do Viparita Karani and Balasana. So Viparita Karani is also known as legs up the wall, if you've done that one. And then Balasana is child's pose. So I'll invite you right now to go ahead and get a pillow or lumbar support if you want it or need it. And I also invite you to bring a towel or a neck roll for these poses in case you need them. So go ahead and grab those things, and then I'll guide you into the positions and tell you a short story. Okay, let's begin. And I only want you to do this if you feel comfortable doing a very gentle stretch in your low back, your hips, and your thighs. I'm not a medical professional and I'm not a yoga instructor. I've been doing yoga for almost 20 years for wellness purposes, and I am offering this as a peer to share with you in case it's helpful to help you connect with your inner self and to help you feel better. So let's go ahead and get started. And throughout this process, throughout all of these poses, I'm gonna invite you to breathe deeply in and release your exhale slowly and without much effort in a relaxing way, in and out. Okay, so the first pose that we're going to be doing is Viparita Karani, and Viparita Karani is legs up the wall pose. Legs up the wall pose is particularly helpful because it allows reverse blood flow to go towards your brain instead of away from your brain, and this induces a calming effect from your nervous system through hormone release and all that kind of good stuff. So let's go ahead by sitting on the floor, facing the wall, with your bolster, which is your pillow or your lumbar support, off to one side if you need it. So I'm going to invite you to lie down on your back and bend your knees to place your feet on the wall. Right? So that's the first thing we're going to do. And then press your feet and lift your hips up to slide the bolster underneath you if you need it. Then lower your hips down onto it. You can see the picture up there with the bolster. And after that, I'm going to ask you to straighten your legs up the wall and extend your arms straight out to the sides. Take a big deep breath in, imagining the oxygen going into your legs, and exhale. All right, you can close your eyes at this point, and we will be in this position for the next 3 minutes. All I want you to focus on is your breath in and your breath out. If it's helpful to imagine something, you can imagine your breath coming into your legs and out your arms. You can imagine your breath coming into your chest and up through your legs, and then out again from your legs down through your chest and your mouth, or any other form of visualization you'd like. The Legend of Tikisiak, story told by Rose Pamak from Nain, Labrador, Canada. Take a deep breath in. Looking across the harbor from Nain, you can see a polar bear, or rather a rock in the shape of a polar bear. Breathing out. This polar bear is only visible on certain days, and there's a very old story about it. On a typical summer day, a long time ago, when Nain was just a tiny village, the hunters left on their kayaks for a day's hunting. Take slow, deep breaths in, allowing the air to fill your body. There was no one left in the village except the women, the children, and the old people. And just allow your exhales to tumble out. It was a typical summer day in Nain. The old people sat and watched the children at play, breathing in deeply. The children amused themselves in various childhood pursuits, skimming flat rocks across the surface of the water to see how far each rock would go and see how many times it would bounce before it sank. Breathing out slowly, no effort required. Chasing and catching young sculpine amongst the seaweed in the little ponds left by the ebbing tide. Little girls playing house with unwilling husky puppies as their babies. Breathe in deep. Fill your body with much needed oxygen. There was an air of relaxation and contentment, and release. Exhale. Suddenly the air was pierced by a loud cry of alarm. We are being attacked. Children were handed into tents by anxious mothers, breathing deeply in, with orders that they keep still and quiet. Exhale. Huskies paced uneasily, emitting that unique low half-growl, half-bark. That is their signal that danger is lurking. Breathing in. Fear gripped each Inuit heart. Exhale. Across the harbor, with slow and steady steps, walked a huge polar bear. It was approaching the village of helpless and defenseless women. Each step a toll of death. Breathing in and out. Moving into the second pose, Balasana, or child's pose. Go ahead and wiggle yourself a little bit while your feet are still up on the wall. Bend your knees and then slowly bring them to one side. Right? Just let yourself lay there for a minute as you're breathing in and out, kind of curled up in fetal position. While you're laying there, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Balasana. So Balasana brings the nervous system into a calm, rest or digest state because of the positions it's in. So it kind of brings it to just kind of a slower pace to feel a little bit more stasis. It also relieves lower back and hip tension. Balasana is used probably in every yoga class I've ever been to. It's a very, very beneficial yoga pose, and one that really can allow us to focus inwards and be present in our bodies and hearing our inner self and our inner voices. So, okay. So let's go ahead from that fetal position to get into tabletop position. Tabletop is on your hands and knees. If you're like me, I don't put my weight on my wrists because I have some arthritis in my wrists. So I put them either on my fists or even put them on my elbows. Right? If your knees are sore for any reason, you can always put something under them too. So although we're not going to be in this position long, but that's just something to note for future yoga positions. So go ahead and get into tabletop and separate your knees out to the edges, a little past your hips, right? So not right under your hips. We want kind of wide knee stance here. And bring your toes to touch. So you're going to be in a triangle position like this from your knees, right? So if these are your toes, and then your knees come out here. You can also look at the picture instead of my weird finger drawing in the air. So we're in tabletop position with our knees wide and our feet touching, and taking a big deep breath in. And relax your arms and shoulders into this pose. So however your arms and shoulders are positioned, make sure that your arms and shoulders can be relaxed and your hips can dip and relax into the floor, that there's not undue tension on your knees. If there is, move your knees, move your feet or your ankles so that you don't feel that. Because we're going to be sitting in this position, we're going to be nestled into it, just sinking into it slowly, deeply, in a gentle way for about 3 minutes. Okay, so let's take some big deep breaths in and out. And I'll continue the story gently. All waited for the moment of confrontation. Take a deep breath in, filling your body with oxygen. The women readied their ulus with the slim hope that by sheer numbers they could defeat and kill this predator. Breathing out, let go of your exhale. Without too much loss of life. They would fight to the death to protect their children, focusing on your body's sensations. Michirak, an old grandfather, also made preparations. He took his drum that he had fashioned from the bladder-thin tissue of a seal's bladder. Take a deep breath in when you have a chance. The same drum he had used at the feast to celebrate a successful hunt. Breathe out, letting your exhale just fall out. He took the drum and began beating it gently, the gentle, regular beating of life. The drum hypnotized the villagers. Take big, deep breaths in and out, feeling any sensations your feet may be feeling at this point, your legs, your thighs, your hips. The mothers laid down their ulus, the babies fell asleep, the children ceased their whimpering, the dogs stopped their pacing. Big, deep breaths in. The only sound to be heard was the measured steps of the white intruder and the answering beat of the old man's drum fashioned from the seal's bladder. Big breath in. Alone, Michirak stood at the edge of the village with the most powerful tool of his ancestors, breathing out. The ancient lore of millenniums ago, when his ancestors learnt the core of survival. He chanted to Tunrak, the supreme spirit of the high mountains far to the north. Take a big deep breath in. When he said, I cannot reveal to you because those people, the Aaluk, those people with the power to communicate with the spirit have their own language. Go ahead and breathe out, feeling any stretch, any release in your vertebra, your spine. creating space for peace. The chanting ceased. The polar bear froze in his tracks, breathing in and out. There he stood in mid-step, immobilized. He had been turned to stone. Then slowly he crumbled and shattered, till all there was left was a pile of quartz fragments. Take big, deep breaths in and out. To this day, if you go to Nain, you can still see the polar bears across the harbor from Nain. It's the Nain landmark. Go ahead and stretch out your spine while in child's position. Continuing to focus on your breath. The old people of Nain used to say it would appear on those days that strangers would arrive. When it appeared, everyone waited expectantly for visitors. It can only be seen from a distance and is only seen on certain days. So this is our retreat mosaic. This is what we're going to be working from. These are the main topics and themes that we're going to explore within ourselves. So the first one is meditative journaling. We've already done a little bit of that. Listening through self-reflection. We'll do a lot of that. And then we'll be seeing your depth, desires, and doubts. That's coming up. Body bright work. We just did that. I hope you enjoyed it. And we have a little bit more down the road, somatic experiencing that we'll be doing, which is another form of body bright work. And then truth and inspiration as wellness tools, as well as strength building for kindness and gratitude. So we're going to explore some more meditative journeying. So this meditative journeying is just for you. You don't have to share anything with anybody else. It's just a space for you to learn more about yourself. So we're going to begin by settling into a comfortable place in your body. You can be sitting up, you can be laying down, you can be on a bed, you can be in a chair, you can be outside, anywhere you would like to be that feels comfortable to you. You can have a cat on you, or a dog, or a baby. So, as you're breathing in and out, settling into your body in a comfortable way, I'd like you to gently focus your mind's eye on your breath coming in slowly, no rush, and out slowly. Just release. We'll do the coherent breathing technique, which is 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out for a few minutes. It's a perfect breathing technique, different than the one that we did before if you want to balance your nervous system. The other one is about calming you down if you're really anxious. This one is really about grounding yourself. So as the name would suggest, balanced breathing is about balancing your body and mind for more inner peace. Okay. So while I guide you through the 5 seconds for the next 2 minutes in and out, I'll be guiding you. I am going to sprinkle in some guided journeying. I'm going to have you imagine yourself in your mind's eye as a sphere. Okay. So in a comfortable position, I invite you to close your eyes and go ahead and find the bottom of your breath. Take an inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you inhale, think about yourself as a sphere with different colored light. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, thinking about that sphere of light. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, your supported body, and you can relax your body. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale and think about your sphere of light. Just see yourself. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale and think of how you shine. Exhale and think of how you're different in different places. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale and think about what affects your light. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, when is your light bright? And exhale, when is your light dim? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and come back to regular breathing.